We're going to go to Proverbs 20, and we're still under family, friends, fidelity. We'll hear it out of a very familiar translation, and then we'll hear it out of another translation. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink is raging. And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, to cease from strife. But every fool will be meddling. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore, he shall beg in harvest and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? I am pure from my sin. I want to read that again. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? I am pure from my sin. Is there one present? Remember now, we're dealing with wisdom. So don't answer. Divers weights and divers measures, both of them are alike, abomination to the Lord. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord have made even both of them. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. I'm going to read that again. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. A lot of this goes on today. 14. It is not, saith the buyer. But when he is gone his way, then he boasteth. There's nothing wrong with trying to get something on sale. But there's a lot, church, trying to get something for nothing. That should not be a part of our character. There are contractors that will not do business with churches. Not because they're anti the Most High. They have had difficulty being paid after they did the work. We'll delve into that a little later, especially when we hear it out of another translation. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. We'll get into that too, if time allows. Bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. Whoso curseth his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. I'm going to read that again. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. Here's this thing again. Divers weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? It is a snare to the man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry. It'll make more sense out of another translation. A wise king scattereth the wicked and bringeth the wheel over them. I mean, he run over them. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. We'll read that again. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is their gray head. The blueness of a wound cleanseth away evil. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly. I'm going to cheat a little bit. That last one, I'm going to read because I may not get to it. I want you to hear this. Because, you know, we always told you don't fight. And I have to be told that a lot. You know, we don't fight. But listen to this. Now, this is 30. Blows that wound purge away evil. Now, I didn't write this. I'm just reading what's in here. Blows that wound purge away evil. Yes, beatings, and then they got, in parentheses, cleanse one's inmost being. I did not write that. I agree with that, but I didn't write it. Blows that wound purge away evil. Yes, beatings cleanse one's inmost being. Now, I know a lot of us say, well, you know, I'd never raise my hand against a brother in the Lord. You know, a lot of us feel that way. And we think, you know, we'll get a gold star for taking a beat down. Well, I'm going to say to you, if you have a family, don't take the beat down. Who's going to look after your family? You see, saints, sometimes you're not going to have a choice. Let me go back. I didn't want to not touch on that because a lot of us have been taught incorrectly about we've been given the wrong definition of love. We've been given an inaccurate definition of love. Let me put it that way. We've taken a lot of unnecessary beatings in life. Some of us have been cheated. And a lot of us think, oh, well, you know, because they love to talk about the passage where some first century believers got beat up or something and they went rejoicing because they, you know, hey, we suffered with the Lord. You know, and a lot of us have taken that, yes. And see, there are that are looking for believers that believe that way, so they can do every dirty, rotten thing because they think they don't know any better. I've asked 100 times, what would you do if you went home, put your key in the door, and another family's living in your house, eating your food, and some other man sitting in your chair, watching your TV, ain't paid the first mortgage or rent if you're renting, got your robe on, comfortable. What you gonna say? Let's pray? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Or are you gonna say, well, Father, this is not fair? I mean, what would you do? You don't have to, just think about it. See, most of us have been taught, if you're just a good little boy and a good little girl, everything's going to be all right in life. Life sometimes can be mean. Life sometimes can be super, super stressful. And this is not a bad word, but for me, sometimes life sucks. And I'm quick to say, Father, this is bitter, this is bitter, this is bitter. I am not abdicating, fighting, but I am saying it is better that you who live by Torah hang around to be a good example for those that aren't following it yet. Get out of this mindset, I'm going to be a good slaughter. You're not doing the team any good getting taken out. We need you to help continue to fight. Do you understand? If all of the good soldiers cut my head off, bury me upside down, what about the rest of us left behind? What are we to do? Sometimes the saints had to fight. Again, I'm not abdicating fighting. But we have got to stop being willing doormats. We've got to stop that. You are not pleasing the Most High by letting people just take advantage of you. He even said himself, and I'm paraphrasing because he said it a lot nicer, but I want you to understand. He said this about his own children. He said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, those that aren't following my instruction fare much better than those that do. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I submit to you, in many of our lives, the adversarial mindset is behind a lot of this. Yeah, you just take it like a good soldier. That's what the enemy wants you to think. I told you, for a lot of us, he don't have to, oh, I got to send as if it were, I got to send my top demons. You don't have to do that, because a lot of us, we are self-checked. A lot of us are our own worst enemy. We don't make good decisions. We can't stay focused. We're flighty. And being in pursuit of a false peace. False peace isn't peace. False peace is not peace. Do a word study on love. Because some love, it appears from the Most High standpoint. Some love is tough love.
Amen. That's right.
And sometimes tough love is necessary. It breaks your heart to see good people just done any kind of way. Even when I didn't know any better, didn't know Torah, not that I'm any scholar now, but even as a child, something just wasn't right about mistreating somebody or picking on somebody. Or, any of you ever had, don't raise your hand, any of you, particularly the guys, any of you had somebody want to take your lunch money? Any of you ever had to get off the bus and start running because somebody talking about they're going to beat you up? I had a good guy lived around the street from me. I'm not even going to call his name, but guy kept picking on him. And he was a nice guy, real quiet, bookworm kind of guy, what had the horn rim glasses. He didn't bother anybody. Just as nice as you can be. Nice fella. Too nice. And this other fella, he's mortuary science, so he's an undertaker now. He kept picking with him. And it just would just tear me up. In fact, I got in a fight the same day he got in a fight because because my guy finally rose up, and he hit him so hard. And it was like one of them old westerns. You know how the guy get hit and he just slide down on the floor? I was so glad. Because I told him, I said, listen, man, if you run today, you're going to be running every day. I said, I almost called his name. I said, listen, just fight him. I said, you might not beat him, but if you fight him and you fight him hard enough, he ain't coming back. And yes, once he hit him and he went down on the floor, I said, fight's over. I was so proud of him because he was from my neighborhood. And of course, when I did that, another fellow was like, who are you to say this is over? So next thing you know, we tussling. I got him. I'm sharing this because I didn't want to fight. Well, I got height, But most of the fights I got in was really none of my business. Barry Holmes, I used to work on his ice cream truck. He would, and I call his name because if y'all know him, y'all know why I call his name, but he had a stepbrother, and he would talk so bad to his stepbrother. And now they family, but it just got on my nerves. Me and Barry out there fighting in Mosby Court. I don't know if any of you all know anything about Mosby Court in Richmond. It's still rough today. Well, while the two Barrys out there fighting, some of the residents robbing the ice cream truck. That's the only thing broke the fight up. But again, and I just got tired of, I need to learn how to curb that thing because like I said, nowadays, I'm a lot more reserved because nowadays people that just don't fight, they'll pull out a gun. And I take the advice Greg told me one day. He said, Barry, listen, man, ain't nobody fighting no more. That's what he said. He said, man, people ain't fighting no more. He said, man, there's somebody just pull out a gun and shoot you. But saints, I don't know what this is. I know I gotta see it in the right vein because it's not for me to get in fights. I'm 60, I'll be 65 in another year. Now what I look like 65? I mean, even professional boxers, they don't, they even say, hey, I'm hanging it up. But the point is, folks, it's a lot of precious people not trying to bother nobody. And they get picked on, made fun of, cheated. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm gonna move on. There was another neighbor. This guy, he was a really good athlete. And we were at the bus stop. And Pop, you remember, I used to like Charlie Scott when he played for the Virginia Squires. And if I liked somebody, you couldn't say nothing bad about them. Nothing. In fact, when I used to listen to the game on the radio, you would tell everybody, just leave him in there by himself. Because when my team start losing, I get ugly. Well, we at the bus stop, and he brought this article out of the Richmond Times-Dispatch, and it said, Gunning Scott hurt Squires. And he comes in, he a hog. Of course, I'm arguing. What does he do? He backhands me. Now you know what happened. We out there, we scuffling. What broke that fight up, the bus came. But when we got to school, I got off the bus first and I was ready for round 2. But see, and I'm only sharing this, he thought I had lost my mind. Because he was a lot bigger. But that don't matter to me. They weren't shooting back then. And again, I don't know why that thing rises up, but it's still there today. Now, it needs to be harnessed. But, wait a minute, hold it. Y'all, listen, somebody got to stand up for the righteous people. And I'm talking about more than just quoting scripture at people. Sometimes people, sometimes people will let you say whatever. But some people only understand a blow. And so I like to meet people where they are. I'm sorry I took so much time on that. But saints, here's what I'm saying. Listen, don't be a troublemaker. But please, stop this willingness to be. Listen, you ain't getting no points for being a sacrificial lamb. Amen. You're not getting any. All you're going to do is become a statistic. And I don't think any of you want to just be another statistic. I would hope you wouldn't. Like I said, in the first century, they used to go to him, should we go to war? He would say, yeah, go to war. And they would win. But as what happens with human beings, they start winning, so they think, oh man, we the stuff. And so then we start slipping. And to show you how the Most High can do, because I've said it before, sometimes saints, he's the only entity that I know, he gets everybody. He gets nobody escapes. The perpetrator gonna get his, and here's what shocks most people, the victim gonna get theirs too. And you say, well, why the victim? They ain't done it. They try to be good little boys and good little girls. Maybe they doing it the wrong way, which is why that kind of trouble came to them. I don't know what his reasonings are. Wait a minute, I ain't finished. He gets the bystander. Father, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just watched. You took a part. If you gossiped about it and you gave your ears to it, you gonna get some too. Hold it. We gonna get some too. See, we haven't been taught accurately about how he really operates. We've been given a rendition of how he operates based on what the people that were doing the teaching wanted us to do so that we could be better handled. I'll just put it that way. I'll just put it that way. And again, I'm not interested in trying to start another movement. We got too many of them now. But if you don't take away anything else, please, I'm not telling you to go out. I don't want to hear about you on the 6 o'clock news. EWC member punches out somebody at Walmart. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying stop thinking that you're pleasing the Most High by getting walked all on. You're not. Now, I know y'all all know that scripture that says the death of the saints is precious. Please, and I hope nobody think you were born and created just so people could wipe their feet in your face. You're more than that. You're worth more than that. All right, let's get to 20 out of a different translation. Listen to this. And yes, I like wine. But listen to this anyway. Wine is a marker. Strong liquor. A rowdy. I remember that wrestler, Rowdy Piper. listen at this though. Here it is. This is the key. Anyone led astray by it is unwise. See, it didn't say you couldn't drink wine. It said, anyone led astray by it is unwise. You know, now doctors have said one glass of red wine is good for your heart or something. You know, said one glass, not one bottle. You know. But, you know, hang around long enough, they'll change that too. Because 1 minute something good for you, the next minute it's not.
Amen.
Listen to this. The dread of a king is like when a lion roars. He who makes him angry commits a life-threatening sin. Now, isn't that a lot different from what we heard out of, and I'm not picking on that translation, but out of the King James translation? I'm going to read that again. The dread of a king is like when a lion roars. He who makes him angry commits a life-threatening sin. You see, there are some people, you can just look at them and you know, I'm not going to mess with that person. And they may not be walking around with a scowl on their face. You just know there's something about their presence. Don't mess with them. Did you know that there are people that they are so good at reading people? They can be in a crowd and they know who to approach for money. Did you know that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So even the way you go about town, some of us are a target. So you need to walk differently. And folks, please be aware of what you're doing. I tell you, saints sometimes, it's like we in a construction zone and we just walking and they got scaffolding and all that, and we just walking, not a care in the world. I'm like, come on, man, wake up. It's serious out here. Be aware of your surroundings, and particularly now. And you ladies, if you got something to do it while it's daylight. And don't go by yourself. Get somebody to go with you. I'm protected. Listen, please use wisdom. Oh, boy. And if you want to keep quoting your little sayings, do that, but just get somebody else to go with you, please. Crime is going to be on the rise, folks. And some people that normally might not have done some things are going to be forced to start doing. See, eventually, if somebody got less than you, some of them going to want what you got. But I'm not saying, now, well, just be careful. Please, just be careful. All right, let's go to the next one. It says, and y'all will like this one, avoid quarrels. Avoiding quarrels brings a person honor, for any fool can explode in anger. So if he's trying to talk about me, I'm going to meet him in the parking lot. It said, avoiding quarrels brings a person honor. And that's true. But I tell you, I guarantee you, it's a few guys in here, you tried talking your way out of that situation. And it wasn't because you was afraid. You was like, look, man, I got my good clothes on. Hey. But you know as well as I do, it only takes, if somebody, whoever passed that first lick, it's on. It's either that or you better transfer to another school because now everybody want to fight you. But it says here, avoiding quarrels brings a person honor, for any fool can explode in anger. Well, okay. I'm not going to argue with him. But I tell you, sometimes you need to act a fool. Because I take you back to that instance where me and the gentleman got to fighting at the bus stop. Do you know I didn't have any more trouble that whole school year from anybody? And my brother didn't either. See, sometimes you got to act a fool. I'm telling you. See, when people, it didn't bother me that Barry Green ain't got good sense. Do you know he got to fighting with so-and-so and so-and-so? And that fool jumped off the bus and he wanted to fight some more? But see, what they didn't realize was I didn't have trouble from nobody else because won't too many guys going to that school could take that guy. And I didn't say I took him, but I think everybody was surprised at my response. Amen. And guess what? We both played on the football team together, and he was first string, of course, and I was second string. He came to see me sometime later. I didn't know whether he was having a flashback or not. Came to my parents' house. We were grown then. We never talked about it. I didn't even really consider him a friend. I mean, but he came, and I guess that was, I was surprised. I wasn't looking for him to come visit me. Last time we had a conversation, we got in fisticuffs. And when I answered the door, I didn't know what to expect. But I was a little older and a lot stronger then. But he didn't come to fight. And so I tell any man, hey, stand up for yourself. No, don't go looking for trouble. But for God's sake, stop being a doormat thinking that you're pleasing the Most High. You're not. It gets embarrassing. See, that's why a lot of, as the world, as y'all like to call it, they think we soft. And I can't stand that. But don't do it because I can't stand it. I'm just saying, it's not right. You're not, that's not what he created you to be. We're not somebody's punching bag. And I don't mean just physically. I mean, people are, I'm telling you, people will leave you high and dry and moving on to the next victim. Wake up. Amen. What you got, very few people gave it to you. Most of you earned what you got, most of you. That's right. That's right. And guess what? You didn't earn it by yourself. You didn't earn it by yourself. Somebody else did some suffering too. Remember that. So if it don't mean nothing to you, it might mean something to somebody else. See, we need a lobotomy. I said we, I didn't say you. Now, here we go again. A lazy person won't plow in winter. So at harvest time, when he looks, there is nothing. I said something to you all last week. Now, right now, you know, everybody bragging about this great resignation. Folks, I told you some time ago, don't follow behind stupid people. I meant that. Some of those people don't have a plan B. And they got families. I'm reminded of a situation where one of our members was sharing with me. Her husband got upset about something that was said on the job. And he got so upset, he probably thought he was getting righteously indignant. So what did he do? I'll show him. He quit. And he went home looking for support. And she looked at him and she said, we still got a mortgage on this house. We paying for these cars we drive. And you quit? Because you got mad about something somebody said? Just because everybody else, I mean, all of us have had our parents say, if everybody else jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off too? If everybody quitting their job, don't you do that if you don't have a plan B. And the majority of them don't have a plan B. They like looking at the news, the great resignation. Don't follow behind stupid people. That is stupid. And they're going to find out before the first of the year how stupid it was. I'm not calling the people stupid. I'm saying it was a stupid thing to do. And if you did that, I am not calling you stupid, but I am telling you, get off your butt and get another job quickly. While companies are begging people to come to work. Don't play the waiting game. See, that's another thing these people are doing. I'm gonna wait. Who gonna pay your bills? The moratorium is over. Don't come to me. Let me say that again. Do not come to me. Yeah, you can. But I'll tell you, I'd be very upset. Because the first thing I'm like, what were you thinking? And then I said, oh, that's right, you go to EWC. We taught not to think. So I guess I gotta, well, come on, bro, come on, sis. Well, no brother, y'all brothers ought to know better. If you've been going here any time, you know you don't do something like that.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, it ain't been that long we was having men's meetings talking about that kind of thing. We got to have each other's back, people. But we got to be wise. This is no plaything, and this is not some spiritual game. I get 20 points because I did this. It's not like that at all, people. This is more serious than you think. Oh, boy. Oh, a lazy person won't plow in winter, so at harvest time when he looks, there is nothing. Listen at this. I see it, Reg. The heart's real intentions are like deep water, but a person with discernment draws them out. The heart's real intentions are like deep water. See, that's why it's so easy for us to hide our real intentions from one another. But a person that's got real discernment, I ain't gonna get into that. Real discernment, they can peep your card. But see, here again, we got some that peep your card, but I just want to keep peace. False peace. Open your mouth and say, hey, that ain't right. Hey, that's a rotten idea. Well, I didn't want to say anything. Well, shut up now. You know, then everybody got something to say after the egg starts smelling. Why didn't you say something before the egg got broke? Listen to this. Remember the other one about, listen at this. This is verse 6. Most people announce that they show kindness, and that is so true, particularly in church. Oh, I just love everybody. And I'll be like, oh, please, I just ate. Don't make me throw up. Most people announce that they show kindness, but who can find someone faithful enough to do it? I'm going to read that again and you'll catch it. Most people announce that they show kindness. I'm a kind person. I'm just saying that as an example. Okay. Most people announce that they show kindness. I do good deeds. And of course, in here we wouldn't say good deeds. We would say acts of chesed, because we're Torah. Most people announce that they show kindness, but who can find someone faithful enough to do it? Anybody work for Nike here? Nike say what? Just do it. See, a lot of us, we talk a good game, but our execution is poor. I mean it. You want to know why some stuff ain't been done? Our execution is poor. And I said our. Again, our. The righteous live a life of integrity. Happy are their children after them. The king seated on his judgment throne can winnow out all evil with his glance. Now, what that's alluding to, remember, most of us that are in the family of the Most High, all we got to do is sense that we are being watched by him, and we'll straighten up. And we got that on the earth with our parents. Because when we were cutting up, particularly if you was in church cutting up, all they had to do was look at you. You know, if they was in the choir thing and you was cutting up out there, they knew how to get your attention. I'll share a story with you because I got pinched a many a day. Because my mother knew how to grab just enough. She would make you get up and sit by her. Oh man, that was, ooh. You knew something was coming. And she would sit there and her arm would be folded. And see, this is, and she knew how to get just enough skin. And you talk about something painful, and you better not cry out loud in church. You just let them tears go down. But many of you have had situations, you knew you was cutting up. And all your parents had to do was look at you, and you straighten up anyway, as long as they was looking. That's the truth of the matter. But it's the same thing with the Most High. Sometimes we know when we doing something that ain't right, and you just feel like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. I spent 2 hours last week praying about this very same thing, and here I is again. First thing I'm out, don't disqualify me. Father, don't disqualify me. Oh, gee, 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to stop at this one. Number 9. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? I am cleansed from my sin. Now, that's interesting that we would stop there. Because, you know, saints, I really want us to ponder that, each one of us, about our individual selves. For real. See, it's so easy to look at somebody else and say, well, he needs to do this, and this. She needs to do this, and this, and this. Well, where's your to-do list? We do that. Rather than look at ourselves, it's always easier to want to look at somebody else and try to fix them. And we broken up. Who can say, I have made my heart clean. I am cleansed from my sin. And I know in church structure, we've been taught a certain thing, and it's as if those things never happen. I'll just say this, because I'm not trying to get in a fight, because we just said we're not supposed to fight. Those things happen, we did them, and there is a record. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to sit down. Pastor, you can come clean up the mess I made.